Alright, there we go. Pushed the wrong button, but I'm here. Alright then. There we go. Right, what a absolute rubbish start to this stream. Cancelling it and then restarting it for no reason. But, you know, these are all very unplanned, aren't they? Alright, is there anybody out there? Alright. Hi, do say hello if you're there. Boom. Gotta try and get the headset, that'll do. Alright. Well, I made it. I wasn't going to do a stream. I was going to do a stream because I'm like that busy. Oh, there's Smart Alec. Hi. Hayden Twins, how you doing? I can't remember if I've ever seen you on here, you know. But welcome. Eden, if you haven't, I'm sure you've subscribed. But if you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be amazing. Also, there's a Discord as well, so there's a link tree. You can just click on that, and then there should be an invite to Discord in the description about the channel. Hi, Josh. And then, right, how's the mic sounding? Sounds alright in my headphones. Oh, and then I just thought, because like last week was a whole guitar extravaganza, wasn't it? And it was really good fun, and I really enjoyed the vibe that I was getting off everybody, because it felt like a game show. It felt like in the UK there used to be this game show in the 90s called Crystal Maze, where basically you had all these different kind of rooms that you had to solve some sort of puzzle, and there was a team of people, and only one person could go in to solve the puzzle, and the team had to shout to them what to do. And it was a bit like that. So I was recording the solo, and people were shouting at me, do this, do that. So it was quite good. I liked using the power of the group to come up with something. And there was a lot of things in there. I mean, obviously, I'm not like doing it like all the ideas people say, but it's great having that stream of consciousness coming into the room, giving me like different sort of views on what's actually happening. So I found that really interesting. Might not be for everybody doing something like that though. Yeah, I could see how it could, it could get stressful. So yeah, I think there's a McRocklin Hutch stream coming up on Saturday. Saw Thomas a few days ago, so that should be happening. And so I've got my my guitar template up, the one with like the guitar bass and stuff like that. And I don't know. I thought today was a bit of a debrief for last week. I thought that maybe we could talk about guitars. So there's no guitar solo or project as such, unless we make one. But what we can do is I'm here, and I've been doing a lot of playing, right? And there's like lots of things I've been doing that are quite interesting. So, I've been really wanting to sort of try and expand a bit sort of on my style. So if you guys are interested in any sort of like aspects of my playing, or just any kind of questions that you have in your playing that you would like me to kind of share some thoughts on, then I can do that. So it'd be nice to have like a chat about the guitar, because I don't really do the chatting about guitar very often, although it's a thing, isn't it? I do play a little. Oh, it's nice and loud, isn't it? Oh yeah. Oh. Let's see, right. Let's see what's on here. Try and get those hands warmed up. It's an attempt to warm up. Right. Tell you what. Am I? All right, we're all good. We're all good. We're all good. Yeah, getting warmed up, that's the thing, isn't it? I think the thing for me, the big thing for me to get warmed up was actually getting the tone of my hybrid picking right. So that's still like an on-off battle for me, but just kind of getting it. Consistent sounding's always, you know. All right, well, I think I'll just talk about something I've been working on lately. So, the things I've been doing, and it's very early in the morning to be doing this. So I got into a little bit of, I don't know if anybody's heard of chordal harmony, but basically it's just used in a lot of sort of fourths in your playing either chords or soloing. But what you're doing is you're stacking fourths, and this is something I've kind of come across sort of in my 2-1-2. Sequencing of notes. So there's a few little like arpeggios I've kind of come up with that I really sort of like, but they're quite, you know, like stretchy. So one of them would be like if we're in E minor, something like that. So it's this bit here. And I suppose if you wanted to be sort of quite purist about it, you could have... You're doing like a bar like that, but I like to put a minor third there. And it gives me a nice variation from that kind of sound, the typical minor 7, minor 9 sound. But the cooler thing about it is you have these positions all over the neck. And it sounds really good mixing them up. So you can come up with some like really cool stuff with that. See how it sounds if we do a bit of it. Hi there, how you doing? Cat. So that's the first sort of part of it. So I'm really kind of digging that sound. Yeah, it's yeah, I like this Kiesel, the Cyrus. Swamp Ash body. I've got the walnut purple heart stripes on the back, 5-piece neck. Active pickup sees the Fishman McRocklin, and I've got them set up on 5-way push-pull. Hi Mick, how you doing? You knew you could do, yeah, right, that's cool. So, I'm trying to just see. Katastrina. So Katastrina, what you could do is, if you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be great. So I'm wanting to get the YouTube subscribers over there. So it's just like Tim Hutch. And that'll get you there, and then just give me a sub. That would be amazing. Who else have we got on here that might want to? And there's Marty Luther King. Good to see you on here. No, this isn't multi-scale. The 7-string is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, sorry. It's early in the morning here in the UK. I always do my streaming at like ridiculous sort of time. Kiesel guitars are absolutely amazing. So, and you know, I'm an endorsed artist by Kiesel. So, obviously, like I absolutely love them, but I couldn't sit here and play something I didn't like. So, I mean, what happened to me is I started playing when I was on tour with Dragon Force, with my other band buddy Thomas McRocklin. I started playing his guitar while we were on tour, and I thought this is like this feels really, really good. And I was getting back into shredding. So I mean, the obvious thing would be like back in the day, I would just use like an Ibanez or something like that. But just with the whole headless thing and the ergonomics of it and the balance and the weight and the feel of it, it just feels really good. The time is, I think it's 6:30 now. Stream was meant to start at 6. So yes, fourths and fifths playing. So there's one like little idea. And it's great to kind of mix those little ideas. Into your regular pentatonic or arpeggios. Fits lovely with that G9. So sometimes it can get a little bit stretchy. So that's like one thing I've been working on. That's one upgrade. And then obviously you probably noticed a kind of more Richie Kotzen type. Like this kind of stuff's really good. Again, this is like you're using like seconds and fourths. So all of that really matches up well with. It kind of all blends together really well. So yeah, fourths are the new rock and roll. But then we can kind of take it, like other things we'll do is like these like little pentatonic type arpeggios. So just like an E minor. So there's another like sort of idea. So that's like in the first position. With a pentatonic. And all I'm doing is combining, starting from the 5th string, position 1 and 2. So if you think of the scale like... all I'm doing is I'm missing the note in between. So again, blends really well with all the other stuff. So that's a cool sound, like when you hear it, sort of the track. Oh, look, there's Sean. Hi, Sean. I just thought I'd sit here waffling about guitars for a session. So I've just been talking about using like fourth intervals, sort of in soloing, really. So I've just been showing just everybody in key of E minor. Sort of this sort of thing. These little arpeggios, and I've just started now doing those little pentatonic arpeggios, which I really like. So yeah, and again, this is like fourths and seconds, isn't it? You can do little sequences. Mix it all up. So yeah, you have all these kind of pentatonic arpeggio shapes up and down the neck, and it's just a great alternative to get out of the regular shapes. So that's sort of what you're doing there. You can add in pentatonic bits. So, Josh, I've missed some of the last slides because I've been waking up at 4:50, helping people, but with random tasks and answering questions and phone lately. It's 10:35 here now. So yeah, like looking for like sort of less sort of like obvious type arpeggios. I mean, I suppose they're arpeggios in a way. These, but they're very much the way I think of them as the bass diatonically off like major, minor, pentatonic scale. So technically, you have them kind of in every position. Well, this is the hardest one, right? So that's like the first one. We've got like one here, one here. So you've got them all over the fretboard, which is amazing. This one's quite a good one. Second position too, because you can add in the ninth. Let's see how that sounds. So you can just add them in, and it's great. No, it doesn't have a name. It's called guitar. It's called guitar. So I don't. Yeah. I don't actually. I don't. It doesn't have a personality. I give it its personality, and then it becomes music, and then music is the then that's its own entity, isn't it? Because like I'm very much sort of Victor Wooten orientated, where music's a very spiritual thing to me. Like music is like this entity that exists that we serve. That's how I think of music. So there's basically me, my thoughts and feelings, and then there's the music, isn't there? And the trick is to think about what the music's doing. So I cannot be dragging a whole family about with me in this quest. But no, I've never. Kiesel. Guitar, Kiesel, headless. Yeah. All right. Any questions so far? So we've got quite a few things on the go. We've got like pentatonic stuff with like seconds and fourths. We've got those funny little arpeggios. That's the only thing with this is like you have to kind of cram onto a fret. God, I don't know. I would just get the group to name the guitar. I don't know what I'd call it. Derek? No, just like David. I just think of a ridiculous name. Oh, I know what I'd call it. I'd give them early 1900 names. So I would call this one Maud, and then I think that one would be Doris. Doris, Ethel. No, that's Stephen. So I'll get to have female names. Maud, Doris, Ethel. Hey, these names sound quite trendy now. And I can't think of another 1900s type name. Beginning of the century. Maud, Doris. Mavis. Mavis could be one. Ethel, definitely. Mavis. But I'll check on that one. So they'd have really cool names like that. But I think Doris, that's got a good name. Beatrice. I were like, yeah, Beatrice. Let's get Beatrice out today, guys. But then why are they all female? Anyway, yes. So there we go. Oh, I could give them maybe Latin, ancient Greek names. That could be good and pretentious, but I can't think of any at the minute. Pythagoras. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Right, naming guitars. All right. Whatever crazy things are that they do. All right. Okay, then we can start mixing it up and really get into 2-1-2 stuff. So lately, what I've been really enjoying doing is these crazy sort of Tim Miller inspired arpeggios. So stuff like that's really good. There's a particular way really you should, well, you can play them any way you want, but that's sort of the way. So like what I'm doing here is you've got two notes. So again, this is like based on E minor pentatonic. And what I have to do is I have to do a little mini sweep, down, hammer, down, and then a hybrid. Down, hybrid, and then it's an upstroke to get back down. But I think that's a great sound. So that's like one of the arpeggios that basically I've been using. In fact, I haven't been using that, that's a new one. Right, let's see how it sounds. It's got a weird note and it's got a ninth in it. Tricky to play. I'm not using massive amounts of gain, so there's like a pedal, and then there's the amp kind of gain, but it's not like massive. So, you know, because I like to preserve like the dynamics, and I like to be able to have like hear that pick attack and have a lot of dynamics on that. Oh, it's the Kiesel Hyper Rig. I love the Kiesel Hyper Rig. So I'll take you through this template in a bit because it's just guitars for this week. So yeah, Kiesel Hyper Rig. I love it. Well, it's by Polychrome DSP. Allow me to. All right, hold on a minute. There we go. There's the. We've gone all corporate. There's the logo. Polychrome DSP are the guys that I go to. I was going to show this in a bit. They are just an amazing company. And it's a Kiesel Hyper Rig, which I like, which is their latest sort of amp product. It's really good. So yeah, the picking part's like really important. So I need that kind of to be able to have the dynamics there as well. Another thing I do is I do a mixture of economy and alternate picking. So like if you were doing a scale, to come back round rather than doing like an even number of notes, so I can stay true to the economy picking. So that's what you would do. I just use alternate picking to get round. But the only problem with that is you end up with an inside motion. But I get really nice, consistent picking on those big sort of runs. So the other thing is like what the economy picking does is allows me to do really weird odd groupings of notes, like, you know, ascending, descending groups of 7, which I love. And then I can do things where I can do, you know, any amount of notes on a string. So there's like a little lick I do, which is hold on, let me think. There, where I've got basically 3 notes on 2 strings, but then I go 2, 1, and then back to 3, which would be a nightmare for alternate picking. So that's why I use like the economy picking thing, because I noticed like Thomas is a real inspiration, and I noticed alternate picking. He does very fluent in odd groupings of notes. That's not like a barrier to him. So I thought, oh, that's really good, and I thought, well, I got, you know, that inspired me, and I got really good at picking with an inside motion because like I was listening to watching all the Troy Grady stuff. So I've always been pretty good at alternate picking, but I kind of pigeonholed myself as an outside picker. So when we're doing outside picking, you know, it's a Paul Gilbert thing. The pick's going outside of the strings on the change. So that's like alternate picking, and that's an outside motion. Which I don't often do, but it's very aggressive when I do it. So, but there's still you know, it was great for 3 notes per string and the Paul Gilberty kind of stuff. But then when I was coming to sort of like pentatonic stuff, like something like that where there's 3 notes and then 2 notes, I was like, just like really, the muscle memory was really, really difficult, and it was a roll of the dice whether I got it right or not. So I didn't like the fact there was inconsistency there. And I didn't like the fact that when I was coming up to these sort of runs that I was wanting to do, that I had to really think about the technique. So there'd be that thinking of, right, I'm going to do this, and it's going to happen now, and we're going to roll the dice, and there's like a 1 in however many percentage chance that like I'll actually be able to do it. And most of the time it would be, if I did it, it wouldn't be amazing. And a lot of the time just like falling flat and just missing a note or sloppy or whatever. So I hated the inconsistency, so I needed to look for something more consistent in my picking. So basically what I did is I started getting into economy picking. And that all started just through doing funny little blues licks, you know, like Joe Bonamassa kind of things. And I realised like how sort of they'll do like probably not be able to do it now because I do mine in a different way. So they'll do that. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they'll sweep up to the next string. And do the groups of 5 there. Whereas I don't do that now. I do like this economy picking. That's how I do it. And again, it's the economy picking just gives me that consistency. I mean, that would be just like it wouldn't be pleasant trying to alternate pick that. And at the end of the day, you wanting to express yourself on your instrument. That's the main thing. How you do that, you want to just take, you know, like water going down a hill. You just want to take the easiest route. I think Frank Gambale said that. Take the easiest route, and that's why I do it, and that's why a lot of my technique is based on that. Before, when I was younger, I was like, there was an ego thing attached, and I thought I have to conquer this like alternate picking, and I'm not doing anything till, you know, I can play Paganini's Fifth Caprice or something ridiculous like that, or play in every key 3 notes per string in ascending fourths, you know, like, which didn't really make any sense because it's just totally not musical. You want to be discovering what the music is and kind of coming up with shapes and patterns based around sort of like you're improvising, and then kind of coming outside of that and then looking at it and developing it. So that's kind of the approach that I take quite a lot. And it just sits well with when you're writing music as well, and it's also you're more likely to come up with your own style as well. So that's what I find there. So it's just about like kind of getting around the guitar neck, isn't it? And doing what you need to do to do that. So like that was the economy picking thing. I've always had pretty good legato. There's a lot of work done just on hammers only. Whoops, wrong note. So that's a really good thing to work on. But it's all down to the muting. So you have to kind of get that dialed in a bit. So that's something I'm constantly always practicing. So that's another way to sort of get about the guitar, because you haven't got this hand, so you're more likely to play sort of weird sequences of notes. And then finally, like the hybrid picking came in, and that's where sort of, you know, I can do string skip. It started actually wanting to do string skipping stuff, but now I just use it to get about. I mean, the thing about like the hybrid picking is you have like a huge amount of dynamic range on the hybrid. You can be much quieter than a pick, and you can be much louder. So that's a really cool thing to play with when you're hearing sort of. And of course, it just gives you another texture, doesn't it? Like you can, if you don't want the attack of a pick, you can just brush the string. It's really good for legato. So that's a nice little mix there. Pick and then can you play over Sacrifice Me by No, I don't do covers. And that would get me a copyright strike on here. String size, these are 9s. I used to use 11s, but these are 9s. All right, where was I? So jumping about here, what was I talking about? Yeah, just various techniques getting about. So hybrid picking's great for, you know, string skipping. That kind of thing. So I highly recommend that. I mean, if there's any of these things that I'm showing you and you want to go in for a deep dive, we can do that tomorrow, but I need you to let me know sort of on this live. So if there's something that you want to know in detail, because I'm just skimming over the top of everything. So other things, I suppose I've been talking about fourths and like fifth jumps, but primarily where these, oh no, I was doing the 2-1-2 arpeggios. So the cool thing about this is you can start building any arpeggio you want, because we're just thinking about different combinations across 2 strings of 2 notes and then 1 note. So for example, you could have like a little arpeggio here, right? You can stack triads, so we could have E minor, D major, and a B minor there. Whoops. And you get nice, really sounding sort of arpeggios by stacking them, which is something I really like doing. But we can start altering notes. So this arpeggio, we can do an E minor and A. And we could start kind of moving notes about. So let's say I wanted to start with the minor, and I wanted to just maybe try moving one note down. We could have that. So you can just like alter one note and come up with something totally different. Or I could, when we get to here, if I didn't like that, I could maybe flatten that note as well. And you could even do all of them like that. So that sounds pretty cool. Let's see what it sounds like. I do an exercise, right back, so I do an exercise sometimes where I hit each note twice. It does a really cool at the same time. Good practice and also for the hand movement, yeah. So I've started kind of doing repeating note stuff as just like, because it sounds cool. So that's another like 2-on-2 idea. But actually, you can just 3-note pentatonic scales. We're getting those repeat notes. Yeah, so that's a cool one, isn't it? Notice a little cheeky hybrid. It just keeps it kind of going. Yeah. I mean, you can pick it as well. Actually, you can do like pentatonic stuff. You could kind of go. That's repeating notes. But it's not like a thing I kind of do. So yeah, using these cells, so that's like one way. Then you can start really getting interesting. So like one arpeggio I do like using is this. I think this stuff sounds really good. So like there we've got a minor third. So we could change that minor third to something else maybe. So, you know, there's ways you can do it. Actually, that's a particularly difficult one to deal with. Let's pick a different one. How about this G up here? Right, this is an easier one to do. So, if I was sticking true to it, would have this sort of half diminished thing. So we've got that, we're in E minor, we've got C, which is like the minor 6, which is like the avoid note. But what we can do is we can just flatten it. And that sounds really good to me. Oh, wrong key. Oh, yeah. And then sort of repeating kind of licks. So I was trying to come up with my own sort of one, because, you know, you'll have things like repeating pentatonic stuff, like all the kind of cliched stuff. And then you have like which sounds pretty insane when you get it going. That's very Richie Kotzen kind of thing, so I come up with my own based on the 212. So you kind of do that with it. Yeah, and then you can sort of, it's cool, isn't it, on the neck pickups. So the idea is like, what we're trying to do is you can get the note to really pop out with the hybrid. And of course, you're kind of in position for all the other stuff. So it's easy to kind of spin off into something else. Questions. How we're doing? That's quite hard to do. And I suppose another thing which we can do deep dives into is like the whole 3-note per string pentatonic stuff. So one thing I do with both picking and legato is I do these 3-1-3 positions. So if you have E minor, I kind of play the pentatonic scale like that. So you got 3 notes, 1. And it's quite fun trying to do a solo and give it feel, you know? So So yeah, just kind of trying to play with a it's quite interesting trying to do that because you've got, you know, speed's not your limitation now, but getting feel is, and it's quite interesting trying to get feel in with that limitation because it comes up with some kind of, it's a weird sound, isn't it? Oops. All right, got a question coming in. I'll tell you what. Is it more comfortable for you to pull down on the bends than push? Right, okay, that's a good question. I don't really pull or push. I try and be as light as I possibly can with legato because, like, even if I really hit into that fret as hard as I can, and as light or basically hit the fret as light as I can, there's not much difference. So it's all about just when you're hammering on, using just enough energy to trigger the note. So that's really light. And what that means is I can reduce the action of my hands. But it's sort of like you know, the Bruce Lee one inch punch. What you got to do is you got to practice kind of hitting the optimum part of the fret. And then the other thing is each finger after it's played relaxes. So I'm only using a light touch. Now for the pull-offs, I don't really pull off on the string. Again, it's just a brush. And I do practice a lot of hammers only, so which is very hard to do. The triggers to pull off in this, yeah. So you're just listening to your music. The essence and juice of the Eddie Van Halen. He was the master of pull off and legato movement in his prime. Yeah. I'm probably a mixer between that and like an Alan Holdsworth thing. Whereas you didn't. I like the sound of the pull off. He didn't. Yeah. So other 2-1-2 stuff. Let's build another one. How do you play the run in Mr. Crowley? Oh, I don't know. It's probably harmonic minor. I don't know. It's in D minor, Mr. Crowley. Oh shit. I don't know. I'd have to hear it. Oh, it's a legato thing. I don't know. Yeah. So that's all. That's all alternate picked actually, apart from the run up. It's an inside motion as well. But it's all to do with the rotations. That's how I get away with it. So yeah, 2-1-2 stuff. So we're done. We've been modifying a few arpeggios. Trying to think of some other kind of ones. Oh, this is a really good one. This is a Lydian sound. So again, we're in E minor. So I like that. That's stacking a minor third, major third, minor third, major triad, minor triad, and then we've got this weird. Let's see what that's like. So we've got an avoid note, we've got C, so we could either move it down one or up one. So I like the sound of that, so I'm starting from D now. So just being aware of what degree of the note you're on. There you go. Better do that again. That's a hard arpeggio there. Yes, I'm a key. Sorry, Tiona. I am a Kiesel artist. So Tim Hutch from McRocklin Hutch, and yes, I'm a Kiesel endorsed artist, and their guitars are absolutely amazing in every way. And also I use Polychrome DSP for my guitar tones. Alright, so yeah, I mean, like, they're really good, like, just this 2-on-2 sort of stuff. Because you can just start constructing your own weird concoctions, and you can just kind of put them in your solos. It doesn't even have to be like the full thing. Like something like that. So you got them all over the shop. Oh, sounding like Lukather. I've never really listened to him, to be fair. I mean, if you want to go mad with the picking, you could. What time is it? I've got a few minutes. So, there are some of the things that I've been working on. So, tomorrow, I think we'll do a bit more of this. And, what was I going to say? And then I'll talk about, because Mex just mentioned, total chromatic exercises. I've started doing a lot of chromatic stuff in my playing as well, so... you know, we can put a bit of that in, you know. So yeah, we'll talk about that maybe tomorrow. All right, cup of coffee time. Right, so as we're doing guitar for the next couple of days, thank you, Rat. The ease and freedom and momentum in your right hand makes you a great rep for Kiesel. Thank you. That's very kind. But that's the whole thing, isn't it? Freedom. At the end of the day, I just want to serve the music without thinking about what my body's doing. So it's really important. Like, one of the books that really helped me achieve, you know, because I've always shredded, but I really needed to get back into playing fitness when, you know, basically when you've got lives with Thomas and you're sitting next to him. I had to get my playing up to scratch really quickly because I wasn't really that bothered about shredding. I was more interested in electronic music at the time, and then I got kind of hooked on guitar. So, kind of getting back into shredding fitness was a challenge. And one of the books that actually I used that I knew about because I was using it in sort of my composition was In a Game of Music, and I think just by that distinction of the in a game, not sexy. Oh, I think headless guitars are very sexy. But yeah, so you know we've got the inner game, which is what's going on in our head and our heart, okay, and then we've got the outer game, which is you know the instrument and the environment and all of those things that are external to our thinking, and this really kind of helped me. So I have a very clear distinction about my thoughts and feelings against what's actually kind of happening as a mechanical side of the guitar, and how I connect those is, I suppose, probably quite interesting. Because I don't think like many people think, or without being a cliche, talk about that sort of thing. The idea of self one and self two. Self one is the the narrative circuitry that we have in our heads when we're doing a gig, and it's sort of like you're gonna bend. Your head will be like telling you you're gonna bend flat, or you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. And we end up listening to those thoughts and feelings that we're having, which are based on our performance or what our possible future performance could or should be against what's happened in the past of previous failures. And I'll talk more about this maybe tomorrow. And what we don't want to do is get on board with those thoughts. We need to think about what the actual music is, and we need to be in what is called self two. So I think we'll talk about. I'll have the guitar out tomorrow, and we can talk about self one and self two. And I can demonstrate some stuff because I'll come on the live and I'll be playing like crap and then I'll have to warm up. The Inner Game of Music by Barry Green. So the other thing is if anybody is interested in music coaching, so there's like one-to-one sessions. I am doing a little bit of guitar at the minute. I mean, there's a link tree. Just ignore that for now and just email me. The Discord link's in there. But anybody who's interested in being coached, you can just send me an email and say you're interested. Because I run a couple of coaching groups which are based on sort of like making music, but then I'm also doing like one-to-one guitar stuff as well and one-to-one coaching things, so we can have a quick chat on what you want to do. Yeah, so the Inner Game of Music is like amazing. So I think like rather than mechanically fixing the outer game, which is what we tend to think about, and be very skill focused, it's the mindset, as we would say, it's that psychology behind it, that I think is the primary factor that needs addressing. So how we think about ourselves and our thoughts and feelings on performance, and how we manage those against what the music actually is, and being in self 2, and self 2 is where we want to be, and that's where we're in self 2, where we're effortlessly playing, we're not thinking about it, we're making decisions without any effort. It's just the music is flowing out of us, and it is possible to be there and get yourself there all the time. And I trained in a flow specialist research project for about, I think it went on and on and on. It was only going to be like about 3 months, but it went on to like 6 months, I think. Maybe it's a bit more. And we were using flow to write like an album's worth of material. And there was all kinds of like crazy sort of exercises we're doing. So I got quite heavily into sort of extreme sports athletes and their psychology. And looking at flow triggers and looking at how you can use flow triggers to basically get yourself to where you want to be when you're playing guitar, when you're under pressure. So there's a lot of good stuff there that I can share and show people. But kind of doing this thing on a one-to-one basis is sort of really important, because you need somebody there to kind of help you make the correct decisions based on what you want to do with your playing, but also it's having that kind of constant feedback and course correction that you need when you're learning new techniques and ideas as well. So I give away a lot on these channels, but the thing is actually then working out how you're going to implement it. Oh God, I hate that word. How you're going to actually put it into your playing and use it in the real world. It is where the value's at, isn't it? And being helped with that. And of course, I've done all of that, so I can save you loads of time. So just get in touch. But anyway, if anybody's interested in making absolutely tons of music, and the best music they've ever made in their entire lives, and you've got a door, if you want to come along to one of my coaching groups, I've got a few spaces free, and I want to start a new group. The groups it's only 4 people in the room, and we meet once a week for 2 hours. And I take you through a lot of creative exercises that will give you massive insight into your music composition, and you will be prolific. You will make more music than you've ever made in your entire life. You'll be releasing music, and you will walk away feeling like an artist. And that's like one of the, because I got coached, and I didn't feel like an artist. It was really sad. I felt out of the game and all this kind of stuff. When I got coached, when I started releasing music, I just woke up one morning going, wow, I'm an artist. Doesn't matter about the money, but that feeling of waking up and being in that a valid, sovereign individual in the creative world felt amazing. And I can give you that. So, Dan Bro, you're one of the very few people who say this concept. I think this stuff all the time. Yeah. So, I mean, if you want more of that, coaching is the way forward. Is the way forward. I can guarantee it, and accelerate your performance. I mean, the main thing is, right, we only get one life, and we don't want to be like wasting shitloads of time on chasing ideas, that may or may not want work, especially when somebody else is doing them. So for me, if I'm not like sure of something and I think, you know what, I can't be asked to work this out, I need to have a look at like other people who are doing it, I'll just book in a lesson with that person and find out how it's done, and then model it into my own playing. But mindset is like in a game of music's really an important book to me, in that distinction between self one and self two. Because I think we think like that self one is us, right? And this is where it blew my mind. Like if you're thinking like self one that's going, no, play this, play that, and you're playing a performance, and you've got this kind of narrative circuitry of like, you're going to embarrass yourself unless you play that shred lick that you've been practicing for ages. Oh, that bend was flat. Why have you done that? Don't bend that note. No, stop playing. Now start playing. It's like this confusion of thought going on, and then what you do is the fatal error is you start getting on board whilst you're doing a gig and playing solos with those thoughts. So now you're no longer listening to the music, and that's where all the mistakes and all the that downward spiral into especially when you make a mistake, you just start reviewing your performance. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be immediately focusing back into the music. But how we do that, I'll let you know on a different session. So tomorrow, I'm not sure what we're going to do tomorrow. It's going to be more guitar stuff, so I'll just decide, and it can be a surprise. But I'll show you my guitar template. That'll be definitely one thing that I'm going to do, and we'll start kind of recording something maybe, and seeing where we end up, and having a bit of a jam and what have you. But no, it's been great, everybody. Thanks for showing up, and I'll do a little bit more of these. Well, it's going to be all guitar this week, so. And anybody who's wanting to join a coaching group, who's interested in a half-an-hour consultation call, because I forgot to say that, just send me an email. But basically, it's 2 hours every week, and it costs $237 a month, right? So if it's like if the coaching session lands on like a 5-week month, then it's still the same price. So $237, and that gets you 2 hours of my time in a group of 4 every week. So that's potentially 8 to 10 hours of coaching for the price of like just a very standard guitar lesson, if that. And it is life changing. The other thing is because of the coaching methods may not be like as straightforward as regular teaching. If you feel that you're not ready for that, and you come on the coaching group and you think, I'm not ready for this, I don't get it, or anything like that, it's fine, because I'll just refund your money, and that's perfectly fine. Then you can either not do it or come back when you feel ready to do it. Because some people aren't that ready, because the coaching thing can be challenging, because at the end of the day, coaching, right, the main difference between that and like education, right, is that we're embracing uncertainty, and I'm getting you to solve your problems, right, yourself, through me questioning you on your creative process, because that's how we do it. My playing and my unique, I'm unique, but my style of playing that I'm developing over the years comes from problems that I've created for myself, that I've solved, and that's one of the ways that we can come up and be different, because we all have different problems. And the problem with YouTube and things like that is people are solving problems, but they're not solving your problems, they're just solving a problem. So the way to do this is, when you're writing music, is to solve the problems that you're experiencing, or when you're playing, is solving the problems that you're experiencing in the moment. Problems are everything. Problems are something to be thinking about very fondly and embracing. I love having a problem in my playing, because I know that then I've become aware of something, and then I can then start, and I really enjoy working out exercises and techniques and things to get around that problem. And when you're watching me, when you listen to me talking about guitar playing, if you think about today, all I've talked about is how I've solved problems. Okay, I've done economy picking because I was solving the problem of not being able to alternately pick all the things. You know, I'm hybrid picking because like it's the easiest way that I can do string skipping. You know, that's how that starts. Everything that you do is solving a problem. So we should enjoy problems. And I know as coaches in the past have been told to say, you know, overcoming challenges, because when you say a challenge, it's a bit softer. But no, let's go for problems. Problems are good, okay? And we're exchanging really shitty, horrible problems for really good problems. That's what I want. Want the really good problems, yeah? But that's enough from me, and I'll talk more about this tomorrow. So, any sort of like topics or anything of interest that you would like me to talk about or attempt to talk about, we can do on, you know, one of these lives. There's the Discord as well. So any questions or any suggestions of stuff you want me to cover, you can put in there as well. And I will, like, if I don't answer on Discord, I will talk about them on the live, if that's okay. I don't necessarily have to say your name or anything like that. So that's all good, and I think that's enough from me today. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning. All right then. Take care. And bye.